Welcome to the Government Record Center. The Government Record Center was established in the late 1980s as an intermediate repository and low-cost storage facility for all ministries, departments, and agencies. We operate under the general direction of the Government Archivist of Jamaica. Our authority is stamped by the Archives Act of 1982 and Archives Regulation of 1988. This act gives us the responsibility to keep and care for the records of Government of Jamaica from the creation to disposition, thereby preserving its historical and cultural heritage and making it accessible for present and future generations. On display for Records and Information Management Month, we have our exhibition. Our theme for Records and Information Management Month is Managing Records and Information for Posterity, transparent, accountable, and inclusive. This fits well the life cycle concept and fundamental principles of records and information management. Here, our first board provides information on the definition of a record. The definition of records management according to ISO 15489 standards are, it is defined as a field of management responsible for the efficient and systematic control of creation, receipt, maintenance, use, and disposition of records, including processes for capturing and maintaining evidence of and information about business activities and transactions in the form of records. An essential part of managing your organization records is to capture it into systems that manage and support its use over time. In some instances, capturing will be as simple as saving the information into your records management system, and other times, capture processes will be more complex.
Hello.
Our board looks at what is records maintenance. Maintenance is the management of information which includes the process of filing, retrieval, and transfers, while the connotation of filing presumes the placing of information in a prescribed container and leaving it there. Secondly, we're explaining filing systems, which is the process of classifying, arranging, storing, controlling, and indexing of files for the purpose of retrieving it when it is needed. We also have on display here an explanation for electronic records management, which is a system, which is a computer program. The retention and disposition process of records management is governed by the Archives Regulations of 1988, which says no official record shall be disposed of without the prior approval of the Archives Advisory Committee. Any request for the approval of disposal of records shall be sent to the Government Archivist and shall be accompanied by a comprehensive list of the records to be disposed of as stated by Section 7, Subsection 2 of the Archives. It is important to note that retention schedules will provide guidance to employees regarding what records should be kept and for how long, because not all records created by an organization are worth preserving. Records should be preserved for these following reasons: to comply with legal requirements, to protect against litigation, to support decision making, to improve performance, and to document activities and decisions. Disposition occurs when we no longer need to frequently refer to records, and there are multiple forms of disposition. These may be 1. Transferring to inactive storage, 2. Archiving, 3. Destroying, or 4. Migrating from one format to another. Continuing, These are documents associated with the disposition process. Here we have the request for records disposition authority form and also the certificate of records destruction. You are provided with the certificate of records destruction once your records have been destroyed and witnessed by a records management analyst.
The final stage in the records life cycle is the disposition phase. Once the records have fulfilled their primary purposes of administrative, fiscal, and legal purposes and are adjudged by the Archives Advisory Committee as having no continued value, then they are ready for destruction. Approval must be granted by the Archives Advisory Committee before they can be destroyed. There are several methods of destroying the records. We have burning, we have pulping, where they are thrown into an incinerator and a chemical is added, and we have shredding. Now, we can also recycle these methods of disposition.
At the Government Record Center, we store records in boxes for various ministries and departments of the government. The boxes are stored on a shelf and it should be 5 inches away from the ground to prevent flooding and any natural disaster.
Marcus Mosiah Garvey, people without knowledge of their past is like a tree without roots. It is with this in mind, we at the Government Record Center strive to protect and ensure the proper management of the official documents of Jamaica, holding all government officials accountable for what they create while fostering transparency. Out of many, we are one people. Our theme for RIM Month is Managing Records and Information for Posterity, transparent, accountable, and inclusive. This fits well the life cycle concept and fundamental principles of records and information management.